everyone. Here to Circle of Debate podcast, top 5 picks of the week here on Circle of Debate. As the host, Stevie, is one I've been seeing here, of course, with Mr. Callis of all Callis. He is Mr. 69, ladies and gentlemen. And that is Mr. Matthew Don Callis Steamboat 69. That's right. And today, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to do our top 5 picks of the week. As our top 5 is right behind me. Top 5 best weapons. That's right. Top 5 best weapons. So it could be anything. Of course, this is a tribute to New Jack, of course. Much love to you, brother. That's why you're on our thumbnail here, because you are the innovator when it comes to weapons more than anyone, and especially in ECW or overall in hardcore professional wrestling. That's just me. I mean, if you disagree with me, comment below and let me know. I would like to know your opinions about that. But yes, we are here to give our top 5 best weapons of our choosing. Do you see anywhere all over the ring, or in a shopping cart, or in a trash can? You know, anything can be, anything goes. So now, I guess we can be flipping a coin. So I'll be flipping the coin here. We're going to do rock, paper, scissors, but no, we're going to go ahead and do the flippy coin.
Yeah.
So
just like in No Country for Old Men.
That is right.
Call it friendo.
All right. I say heads it is.
Okay, I'm going tails.
And it's heads. Ha ha! It's heads. It is heads.
All right.
I dropped my coin. But yes, it's heads. It's heads. Oh, that's tails. That's heads right there.
So I'll go with weapons here. So actually, for this one, I think I might have one honorable mention, but I'm gonna go with my top 5 first. So my number 5 is a baking tray.
A baking tray? Really?
Tray.
Okay.
So you got to think it's such a weird criteria to judge this, because you don't want to judge weapons that actually do harm, because this is wrestling. We kind of understand the concept of kayfabe to show real love to this. So you want to make sure the wrestlers are both safe. It sounds cool and it looks cool while doing. So, a lot of people have different, maybe you had yours based on different criteria, but I'd say like a baking tray, it's not, it wouldn't hurt as hard as a chair would, but it also, I think it's louder in sound. And I think it's easier to wield, and it's kind of like a fun image. The cookie tray, baking tray, the flat tray, so that's my number 5. Number 4, the trash can lid. Very similar concept to the baking tray, but I've seen the trash can lid a little bit more. It's a little bit more common. A lot of damage, a lot of usage, with that. So that's it's got a good noise, and I've seen a lot of people use it. So
Steve Blackman, baby. That's what it reminds me of.
More utility, yeah. Steve Blackman.
Oh my god, because he was like ka ka ka, and he'll do like a fucking turnaround fist, but it was a trash lid. Like, oh my god.
Imagine somebody throwing it like a frisbee at a wrestler's head and it actually hitting. That would be such a great image. That would be such a fun spot.
Oh my god!
Like the world champion frisbee thrower, for some reason participates in a wrestling match.
Hey, you know what? Just say that right now. Anybody who is a pro wrestler who's listening to this or watching this, there is an idea for you. There you go. Especially if you're going to be in a death match or in a hardcore match.
Throw it like a frisbee. So, number 3 is the barrel of the trash can.
Okay.
The trash can itself, because I like the image of it flattening out when the guy's thrown onto it. That's always a cool thing. It's a great spot, and it kind of sells the finisher. Like if that's the finish of the match, that always kind of like you have the image of the crushed trash can and everything like that, and just like, okay, they're done.
That reminds me of Brock Lesnar spine busting Al Snow, and that trash can. It was like gone.
Yeah,
down. My god!
So my number two. This might come to a surprise, but the Singapore cane / kendo stick is actually my number 2.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's kind of like a lot of. I'm guessing like if Chris or Mike were with us today, I'm wondering, they're not dead for those listening. They're very much alive. Mike and Chris. I have a feeling even if you try, I think I'll steal a quote from Kevin Nash. You know, if you want to get rid of those guys, you probably have to hold them down and drive a stake through their hearts, because I have a suspicion they might be vampires. You know, Chris and Mike. But I gotta say the kendo stick, I love the noise it makes. I love the imagery. I love the sword idea behind it.
Okay.
You know, I'm thinking them making it of different materials, but it brings me to this next weapon, and I really think it's a very underrated weapon, and we've actually seen it different. So my number one, this is very unexpected, but in my personal taste, if I was a wrestler, this would actually, I'd want this to be my signature weapon. Kind of like how the Sandman's synonymous with the kendo stick, Tommy Dreamer's synonymous with the kendo stick / Singapore cane. I'd want to be known for using, or Sting with the baseball bat. I want to be known for using this weapon if I was a wrestler, you know, and I think it's a really cool weapon. I've seen it used twice in AEW. And of course, this is the pool cue. So first time we saw this weapon get used is
EC.
First time we saw this weapon used was Hangman Page breaking this on Jake Hager's back. And I gotta say, Jake Hager no-sold it. But I love the imagery of it, and I kind of think it would be cool for finishes and cool for spots. You know, the Russian leg sweep with the pull cue instead of a kendo stick.
Oh yeah.
I love the noise it makes. It's very snappy instead of the flappy noise that the kendo stick makes. And then we just saw Ricky Stark use it against Brian Cage. I gotta say. So, you know what, Ivan, what were you about to say about the
I mean, we haven't seen it in a long time. Back then, you Jack will use it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure. I mean, the pull cue, man, he had it there all over his little goodie bags of weapons. So
he got the axe handle too, and that was
oh my god, yes.
You know.
But
Okay,
yes.
so my honorable mentions. Okay, we're gonna kind of go. I got some side. You want Ray for a sidewinder? Want me to reel up with this ball?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
The entire turnbuckle cushion from New Japan Pro Wrestling.
Toriano.
and Tetsuya Naito.
Yes.
I love it when they use the entire, because it's a different type of turnbuckle cushion in New Japan as opposed to the single rope cushions that they have in WWE and AEW. You know, in New Japan, it's more like a boxing ring design. That one, it's such a cool image, you know. So I guess that would be my number two, and maybe my number one honorable mention. Originally, I had this as my number two, but I'll make this my number one of my honorable mentions. Brass knuckles. I'm gonna quote Notorious B.I.G. You got that shit held tight, brass knuckles and flashlights. All right, like I think that was that was from Victory, Puff Daddy and Notorious B.I.G. You know, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as we're here, then we might as well shine together. Even now or never, business before pleasure. P. Diddy and the fan, who you know do it better. Yeah, right. No matter what we have tight, and if you doing something, make sure you do it right. Don't make an ass out of yourself unless something. I know. I had the whole thing. I used to have that whole thing down. But yeah, you know, you got that shit held tight, brass knuckles and flashlights. You know, shout out to William Regal. Shout out to Gato. You know,
power to punch, William Regal and Gato.
We gotta send just this clip over to Dirty Heels. I think they'll pop for this one. Big hip hop fans too. So this is a shout out to y'all, man. You got that shit held tight, brass knuckles and flashlights. You know?
I love it, man. Interesting that you chose the turnbuckle from New Japan. Yes, if people are not familiar, go on YouTube and YouTube Toru Yano and Tetsuya Naito using those weapons. And those are not, you think it's just pads. Those pads hurt. They do not, they do hurt. And mark my word when I mean that, they do hurt, most definitely. Wait, any two honorable more mentions you had? I think you had two more.
I don't think so for now.
Okay.
You know, I don't want to. I'm kind of avoiding the steel chair just because it's kind of like a. I mean, it's like hamburgers and pizza. You know, we like it, but you know.
Yeah, I get it. Which gets to me in my top 5, which I have to add. You mentioned the chair. I'm going to add the chair for my number 5 because it's a classic. You know, we're going back to way back in the days when it started used, like way back when it started using the chair. And it was actually, for me, it was like, I'm not lying to you. I mean, I have it here somewhere right here in my forehead. I got hit with a chair, and trust me, hey, don't try this at home. Yes, I've done it at home. It's right here. It's right here. Yes, getting hit with a chair is not pretty, and those shit hurts, especially way back in the days when they used to hit them right in the temple, and especially you could hear the smack. Oh my God, I think the worst one was Lesnar's when the Hardy Boys hit Lesnar with the chair, or even Vince McMahon taking the chair shots. One, especially the one from the Undertaker. Oh my God, that was damn horrible. Or even Raven too, when Tommy Dreamer hit him. You know, when he had Raven a lot, you know, handcuffed to the cage. That the loudest chair shot in the world, went all over. Yes, the chair is an instant classic. So I'll put that number 5. Number 4, another one that is another classic that I feel it's underrated, and people, I mean, for me, people barely kick out of it, but I think it's effective, and that is the steel steps. Ooh. The steel steps is very effective. You know, Batista Powerbomb JBL to that, Triple H pedigreeing Brock Lesnar.
I remember.
John Cena doing the FU on that. Shawn Michaels doing the spike power dropping an Undertaker there. So much good shit on the steel steps that is just like, you can hear just, oh my God, it's just nasty. And even the time when I think Big Show dropped the Paul White, dropped the steel steps. I mean, yeah, it's an effective weapon. And as you can see, people try to throw it over, you know, always try to throw over in the ring, and sometimes they don't make it, sometimes they don't. So it's like, man, this is an effective weapon. And Mick Foley is the one that took it the most on this one too, for those steel steps. Especially you can, you know, throw your opponent towards the steel steps. You see how Foley ate shit off of that. His knees proves it right there. So you don't believe me, ask Mick Foley on that. Number 3, speaking of Mick Foley, which is my favorite one that I love and enjoy when I see it, and that is a barbed wire bat. I love seeing the barbed wire bat out, and especially my favorite of how he uses it, especially the time at the Royal Rumble 2000 versus Triple H, how he just run with the barbed wire and it's right in like just the head of the barbed wire, like on his head.
Ivan, I gotta say, especially mention to the most recent episode of Dark Side of the Ring, Atsushi Onita. You know, remember, yes. I picked Onita as my number 1 hardcore wrestler, and then because people used to say Atsushi Onita, they would say Mick Foley's the American Atsushi Onita, and vice versa. In Japan.
I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. Think of Onita. If Onita, if it wasn't for him, you know, none of this would have been happening. You know, a lot of people keep mentioning FMW, kind of like was the foundation of it. But I mean, this remind you that if we go back to the territory days, there were a lot of hardcore innovative matches that people barely speak upon of. But I would say that Japan transitioned to more deadlier and more dangerous than what we have done in the States. If we do our knowledge history, go back, I think Japan took that and transitioned to more deadly what it is today. Like a Game Changer, or when it was ECW, XPW, all of that. I think that's just my opinion. I don't know how you feel about it.
I remember Vice Wrestling also had, for their documentary, one of their guys bought Onita's barbed wire baseball bat and had Onita sign it. So, and I got even more fun news for you. My friend, who's the lead singer of this Visual K band in Tokyo, his name's Kyle, and he sings for this band called Encel Disdain. And he actually ran into Atsushi Onita in Tokyo, just like in the streets, and he just randomly met him just out of nowhere.
That is awesome.
I thought I'd share this news with our listeners here.
That is right.
So, a lot of hardcore history and love, just a little bit of extra for you guys,
That's
it's
right.
educational. We got 69 lessons.
That's right. 69 lessons with Mr. 69 himself. Coming soon. It's coming soon. And yes, and number two will be thumbtacks. I love the thumbtacks. Man, just the thumbtacks being introduced by Mick Foley, and just correct me if I'm wrong. Like I said, I feel like for me, I was introduced to that by Mick Foley. How he introduced that to the WWF during the Attitude Era. I loved it. How, especially just getting your opponent's reaction when they landed, like it's like
very painful.
Oh man, just seeing Randy Orton's face, or even seeing Joey Janela's face. Remember when Moxley put his foot to the thumbtacks and that as well. Oh,
shoes and socks off.
Yes, took his socks off and literally. Oh my God! Even Jericho too. When he landed on thumbtacks as well, and on his podcast he said he's playing that was the most painful shit he ever went through his life. He's like, damn, that's just horrible. So man, kudos to Mick. For me, for showing me the light of thumbtacks, and like, I don't think I'll ever want to go through that because never, no, never that.
There's even like it's a way of execution. You know what an actual Iron Maiden is, right, Ivan?
Please let our viewers and our audience listeners give them your 69 lessons. What's the Iron Maiden?
An Iron Maiden, the band. It's not the band. The band named itself after that. It's a coffin full of spikes. And it's kind of, I guess you could consider it based on that concept. I have a feeling Darby Allin would kind of find a way to do that and somehow come out like intact. I don't know. It's maybe the tips would be gimmicked or, geez. Because I know Darby Allin's put himself inside of a body bag full of thumbtacks before, so I guess that's like a ghetto Iron Maiden or something like that. So.
Oh my God, definitely. So that's my number two. My number one, because I feel this is number one for me, and I like when I see it, but you won't see it anymore, but I enjoyed it when I saw it because it was just so deadly to me. When this individual used it, of course, I'm gonna have to go with the Sledgehammer. With the Sledgehammer, I have to go with Sledgehammer number one. Because I like how Triple H used it. Man, he did a incredible job using it with Austin, with McMahon, with The Rock. I enjoyed it. You don't really see it nowadays. I think you only saw it last time with Sean Spears and Sammy Guevara when they had the little street fight. But I like the fact that, or Seth Rollins was brought it up too. I forgot. So yeah, I enjoyed it because it should be effective, and it is a heavy plate of steel hit into your skull. You can literally get killed for that. Honestly, but we know that we're in the world of entertainment. But yes, but I enjoyed it very, very much. Just seeing that it's a very effective, and I like how everybody sold it. Phenomenal. I love it. So kudos to you, Paul Levesque, man. Hopefully we can see that again soon. Hopefully. My two honorable mentions. One, this honorable mentions, of course, is honoring this man right behind me. And that is, of course, New Jack. He loved using every weapon that he has available. And I think this is another, it gives me the cringe when I see it happen. And that is the cheese shredder. Because when he used, oh my God, just like, that shit is just so nasty when he uses a cheese shredder. It gives me the cringe. I'm like, but man, New Jack is the innovator of using weapons, and he oh my God, fantastic job. Rest in peace again, brother, man. But yeah, this guy did a lot of dirty shit, and then it's like, oh, it's just, oh my God. So I would consider like the cheese shredder more like the blade. So I'm not gonna like. That's why I didn't put the blade like a knife or anything like that. I think I consider it the same because at the end of the day, it's almost similar. The similarities is only a blade, it's just cutting something. My other honorable mention, and this is gonna be a cheesy one, but I like it because it's effective, and that is Devon, get the tables.
The tables.
The tables. The tables, you got to go with a classic one.
We want tables.
We want, exactly.
Yeah.
That's why. Because tables, why not? It's a classic, but it's effective. Especially way back in the days when they use them. It became a lot of effective, especially power-driven, power bombing, or even do a high-flying move on it. Man, that is an effective, and I mean effective weapon to use. You can use it to throw it at somebody, you know. So it's just, I like it. I like the tables. I like people using it nowadays. Even heck, New Japan's tables are effective. We've seen Kenny Omega, he does a stomp on it. We've seen Will Ospreay does, innovative moves towards it. I mean, shit, man. Believe me or not, I mean, tables are effective whether you like it or not. Not the announced tables, but a tape. The actual tape, that's where you sit down and eat, there you go, like a picnic table. So that's, you know what? I am going to add one more. Screw it. I am going to have to add, you know what? Should I add it? Yeah, no. Okay, fine. I'll add it. I think it's effective, and if you know how to use it properly, and that is a chain. And if you use a chain on it, oh man, just like similar to breast.
Chain gang.
Yeah, the chain gang. That's right, John Cena. You can't see me. The chain gang. Oh man, I think the chain is ineffective too. The chain, and I mean chain by in general, like a chain ring. Like how MLW had, a while back, they had a chain ring. It was like part of the Contra versus the Briscoe brothers. That was oh my God, go watch that back on YouTube. It's a deadly match. Or even, not the bull rope on a chain, but the chain on a rope, like the one that Brody Lee, rest in peace, and Cody Rhodes had. That could be used as deadly. Piper and Valentine are known for that too. So chain is another very effective weapon to use. And you don't want to get whipped by a chain. That hurts. I have, and it is very painful. Very, very, very painful. So you don't want to go through it. No. So there you have it. Those are my top 5 and honorable mentions. A great choice of weapons overall here around. I loved it. Did not expect. Honestly, I did not expect the pool cue. You caught me off guard in that one. Mm-hmm. The baking tray, you caught me off guard, which reminded me of China and Jeff Jarrett when they had that kitchen match when Jeff Jarrett went to WCW right after when he lost the Intercontinental belt. We didn't include the kitchen sink, but who uses a kitchen sink nowadays?
Even recently with the Lance Archer, Kenny Omega.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And Moxley match.
Oh, yeah.
That's a Sidewinder.
That's a Sidewinder. And you know what's another Sidewinder too? The stop sign that we see a lot. We forgot about the
Crash
stop
Holly.
sign.
Crash Holly.
Yes, Crash Holly. Yes. That is right. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, our top 5 picks of the week here on Circle Debate. Of course, we will tune into another following top 5 that we will have. That will be our top 5 best commentators. That's going to be the difficult list and controversy as well, because we do have the one and only's list, but he's on tour. He sent that right away. Oh yeah, I'm gonna jump on his list. So we're gonna mention his list. So stay tuned for that, and of course we will spin the wheel right after that to see what's the upcomings that we're gonna have on here on our top 5 picks of the week. So don't forget to all our audio platform listeners and for all of our viewers, subscribe at the end of the video, right below. Hit that like and notification button, hit the subscribe button, and all to our audio platform listeners, thank you very much for tuning in and for listening here, Circle of Debate. And once again, enjoy your Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. This is the host, Stevie's One Ivan C, of course, with Mr. 69 right here, because he gives you the 69 lessons, reasons, and answers.
It's like that one song, I've been down with the homies on a Sunday afternoon.
That is right. And we will see you on the next one.